what I've written over the last week or so, some of the issues that affect Singaporeans. Today in the newspaper forum, I have a letter published in reply to the Public Transport Council's reply to my letter of a few days ago. I wrote to the newspaper forum on 15 July. I asked, why are we expecting fares to go up again? The two operators are applying for fares to go up again, when for the last financial year, the combined net profits of the two transport operators is once again like another all-time record high of $210+ million. Now, the chairperson of the Government Parliamentary Committee on Transport, Cedric Foo, recently made a call for the transport fare adjustment formula to be reviewed now. But the PTC's reply is, it will only be reviewed in 2013 because the formula is valid until the end of next year. Now, I cannot understand how a formula can be valid until the end of next year. I mean, I tend to agree with the GPC chairperson that now's the time to review. Why wait until 2013? If you look at the numbers in the annual reports of the two transport operators, the main reason for asking for another fare increase is increased cost. But if you look at the revenue growth, so I think we have possibly the most profitable public transport companies in the world. Now, in the PTC's reply to my letter today in the newspaper forum, they said that I had calculated the fare increase in the last 3 years wrongly. Of course, because I'm just an ordinary citizen, how will I know, how to get the correct answer? But they did not answer my main point, which was why raise fares when you have a all-time record high in profits again. Now, the PCC also cited in the reply today that last year there was a 2.5% reduction in fares. I beg to differ because last year the 2.5% is only an estimate using the two transport operators' data that with the change to distance-based fares, 2/3 are expected to pay less, 1/3 is. If you follow the transport fare formula, over the last 10 years or so, it's gone up like in 7 out of 10 years. And the reason for this is quite obvious, because the formula almost guarantees an increase in transport fares. Why? You have one component which is wages. Now, wages normally go up every year. You have one component which is inflation, and inflation also normally go up every year. Of course, they minus a productivity adjustment. So actually, last year is the first time in the history of the transport fare formula that we actually resulted in a reduction in fares for everybody across the board. But because of the adjustment to distance fares, instead of everybody paying less, it became approximately 2/3 pay more and 1/3 pay less. This morning, as I read the news, Singapore very funny. Sometimes when you read the news, it helps you to wake up in the morning. Because when I read the news this morning, I said, oh, it says, SMRT says that because they have added more trains in the last few years, the noise level has gone up. And that they get complaints from residents in Jurong and Eunos. They cited that in Bishan, the noise level actually is as high as, I think it was 85 decibels. So I went to the internet and do some checking. According to international standards, if you just talk to each other about 3 to 5 feet away, it's already about 70 something decibels. You know, if you are sitting in a car, right, inside the car driving, it's already like 80 plus. And if you're on the subway train, it's also 90 plus. So SMRT cited that, oh, this would breach the National Environment Agency, the NEA's stipulation that it should be 67. Now, that when it comes to university students, we must give Singaporeans first, although we cannot have it exclusively for Singaporeans. And it was also said that we need to, the government needs to closely monitor, you know, the ratio between Singaporeans and foreigners. Let me ask you this question. All these years, all the debate, all the analysis about Singaporeans, foreigners in the universities, to me the most obvious statistic has never been asked in Parliament, has never been asked and has never been answered. And that is, in the 3 public universities, what is the percentage of non-Singaporean students? I mean, if you want to monitor, you want to debate about it, this is the obvious statistics to tell us, right? But never. I give you an estimate. For first year undergraduate, 20% is reserved for foreign students. And then of the other 80%, we don't know how many are PRs. So let's say 20% are PRs. Now, as you move to second, third, fourth year in undergraduate, my understanding is some of the Singaporeans will transfer out to other universities. But the foreigners and PRs normally never transfer out. So as you move to second, third, fourth year in undergraduate studies, you will have more and more foreigners and PRs. Now for postgraduate students, understand that 3/4 of the postgraduate population are not Singaporeans. So if you add all this together, I estimate perhaps something like 40+% of the total university population may be non-Singaporeans. Find me any country in the world where the public university can have more than 40% of the students as non-citizens.